Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. Last time
on Critical Hit.
On Critical Hit.
About an hour has passed. Valentino has kind of learned her ritual. Rodrigo has made friends with, Dutch has made friends with members of the staff. Blisco has kind of figured out how his weapon is supposed to work. And Doc took a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. Do we have a meeting?
Yeah, remember you're supposed to meet with the Brigadier in about an hour.
We're going to meet with the Brigadier.
So you go up to the Brigadier's office, and once again you are walking through the communications room to get to the Brigadier's office, and once again you see this pretty blonde woman sitting behind there, and she's again just frantically going through papers, and there's another woman kind of standing next to her. They kind of look similar to one another, but she has darker hair, and they're really trying to discuss, and they're looking at these sheets of paper and going back and forth like through a clipboard, trying to line things up. And they both seem somewhat frantic as you enter the Brigadier's office. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I hope you've had a chance to get something to fill your bellies.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Sit down.
Go ahead and sit down, yeah.
Is it just the four of us?
No, it's the four of you plus the Brigadier.
Okay.
Antoine, left you guys in the communications room and went to his own office.
Okay.
He escorted Valentino back up from wherever those two went on their adventure. So, good job on your mission. What are your thoughts on where you need to go next?
Well, we didn't get any new leads besides the ones that we had talked about before. So we're still looking either at some place in the eastern United States or St. Petersburg. Those are really our
St.
only
Petersburg
choices right now.
This time of year, he kind of looks out the window and seems to lose his thoughts for a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. It finally comes back. I'm sorry. This time of year, it's the holidays. You think about family and those kinds of things. I'm thinking about my own family back home, and there are many things on my mind these days, as you might expect. St. Petersburg, this time of year, very cold, it's not a place that I would want to go right now.
That was our thought as well. If for no other reason that we seem to make very hasty escapes, and being unable to leave St. Petersburg because there's a blanket of ice over everything would be a problem.
Mm-hmm,
Not that doesn't ever happen in New England, but still.
Yes. So you're thinking America?
Yeah, that's what we were looking at.
I suppose we could get Miss Huggins to radio ahead to the base, and they could get try to book you on a flight to get to America as soon as we could.
All right.
Miss Huggins. And both women that you just saw in the communications room enter. Yes, Brigadier. Oh, Cheryl. I meant Cheryl. Oh, yes, sir. And the other woman turns and leaves the room. Boys, this is Cheryl Huggins. She's our communications director.
Wait.
Hello.
Is she
Cheryl,
the light-haired or the dark-haired?
Yeah, she's the blonde-haired one.
Okay.
Yeah. Cheryl, have you figured out your misfilings of the communication reports? I'm sorry, sir. I for the life of me, don't know why we're missing reports. Uh-huh. Okay, well, put that aside for the moment, and please get a hold of the base, and tell them that the American boys will be needing a flight to America as, he looks at you, as soon as possible, or did you need to be in Paris for a few days?
I'll look at Valentino.
Oh, well, I've heard some rumblings around here that there's some security concerns, perhaps?
Cheryl, if you would step out, please. Yes, I'll start the process of letting the base know that they need to get a flight ready for the Americans, and she leaves and closes the door. What do you mean, security concerns?
Heard some scuttlebutt that there might be some sort of mole.
You've heard that already?
Yes.
Hmm.
I was wondering if we perhaps need to stick around a bit and see if we can provide any assistance.
I've been trying to ferret out what I believe is a spy in our midst for some time now, and as you know, Miss Huggins is noticing that there are communication logs that have gone missing, that her log notes don't align with the actual physical documents that we have of messages sent and received. Then there's been some weird moments where files get misplaced, or a piece of technology we thought we had suddenly is not where we thought we left it.
Maybe you should lock up the orb.
Yes.
Yes, that's a good idea. Unfortunately, I'm gonna see if the library does have a safe somewhere, but that would be a good thing to try to take care of as soon as possible. Listen, everyone here kind of knows everyone else's business. Harris and his commandos, the flirting with the cook, Oliver's crazy contraptions, Pontus and Antoine, whatever they get up to. It might be a good idea to have, if you don't mind, a look around and see if maybe you might be able to gain some insight into who might not belong.
Oliver was actively trying to hide information from me when I went into his lab, but presumably he would have had clearance to do stuff that I shouldn't be looking at.
It could be, yes.
Now,
So is that a yes?
Yeah, absolutely. We can.
Yeah, we'd
check
be willing
that.
to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will
very
also point out that we were told that the orb we acquired is said to reveal secrets. Showing you a path, you might see where that leads.
Okay, yeah. Maybe, perhaps, yes. How about this? I'm going to give you guys, the sooner we find the spy, the better, and you do need to get to America soon.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cover would be, as you're going to America, it's the holidays, and you're going home to spend R&R with your families.
Right.
That would be a good cover. So we need to get you on the plane as soon as possible. So I need you within the next day to just poke around and see what you can find. Try to not call attention to yourselves. Be a little stealthy if you can. And report back to me tomorrow and let's share some information.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. And then you hear him. That's all well and good. Please tell Miss Huggins to book you a flight to America in 2 days.
Will do.
Yes, good day, gentlemen. And he ushers you back out into the communications room. Okay, so here is how this is going to work. We're going to go with 3 rounds. Okay? The first round is an interaction phase where you guys can have interactions with people and places, both in the first floor Section M offices and in the general spaces in the basement. You can observe from afar. You can engage in casual conversation. You can probe. You can do some, I don't want to say B&E, but essentially go into areas and poke around. Okay. you should be able to focus on both verbal and nonverbal cues that you get. And it probably would be a good idea to try to use observation to check out environments if you need to. So that's going to go on and for a little bit until you guys feel like you've done all the interactions that you need. Then you're going to go into an analysis phase. And this is where you, the players in character, can regroup and discuss what you've found out, reference any clues that you may have found, any hunches that you may have. If you need to go back and do any clarification, you can each go back and do one clarification. And then the third phase, after you're done with that, is the accusation phase, where you will go back to the Brigadier's office and you will tell him who you think is the spy. Go ahead. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Not right now, but we might as...
Yes, we probably will in a minute.
As it unfolds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going to enter the interaction phase. It would probably be best, since you're on a timer of a day, that you might want to split up and go and talk to people or interact with people. And let's just go from there and see what you guys come up with. You're probably going to have to roll some tests to figure out, what you find or whether you're a success, that kind of stuff.
Dutch is going to suggest that Valentino talk to the Huggins ladies.
I was thinking kind of keeping an eye on Pontus.
Okay.
Perhaps seeing what Antoine knows of him. And
yeah, does anybody have a specific person they want to look at? I mean, this is a good opportunity to sort of trade opponents, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
If you've already talked to someone and you've already seen them maybe do or not do something suspicious, there's a good chance for somebody else to go and see if they can verify anything.
And also the environments are also probably going to be important as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or, we can split the talking, and then the problem is that is Valentino good at talking mechanically? Because I know he's got the better perception. So I
he's
think
got a
he's
pretty
the
high
one
persuasion. He's got a pretty high persuasion, and he's tops out on his observation. He's the highest on observation.
Yeah, so he can be the lead detective.
Right. Interpersonally, I'm going to be useless, but in terms of observation, I think I should be pretty helpful.
Okay.
Well, so you might also then, in that case, Matthew, think about who you've had positive interactions with and negative interactions with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if we want to think about stuff like bugs, is that something we...
No, you can't do bugs. You won't have time to do any of that.
Sure.
Because if there is a spy, there's a good chance the spy is already on the lookout for bugs.
No. Not for us to bug the place.
We're looking for their bugs.
Looking for bugs that are already here.
World War II, I think those might be a little bit too bulky.
Okay. All right. So...
I mean, it's possible if you want to, search, you can do that. But probably bugs are probably not going to be the big thing.
Okay. Well, they're missing actual reports. So looking for some place that's been stashed is probably worthwhile. And then seeing who all has access or has moved around in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That might be something good for Doc to do, since he's good at observing but bad at talking. Look for suspicious stashes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Doc, where are you going to start out? Are you going to start in the communications room, or are you going to go somewhere else to look for stashes of papers in this very big building that is full of papers? Many of them bound together by pieces of cardboard and skin.
How out of character is it going to be if I just show up in the communications room, or if I try to...
You're all standing in the communications room right now.
Okay.
Sounds like it's reasonably within character then.
Yeah. And so Cheryl, again, is kind of looking around, going through her notes, looking at each line and trying to line it up with another clipboard full of paper. And she does kind of look maybe a little out of sorts.
Were we told where documents were being taken from? Documents are literally going missing. Okay.
I mean, it looks like they get filed here.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, anything
So-
that's going in and out of, the office probably would go through communications room. So the purpose of the communications room is when you file your report, it comes into the communications room, and Cheryl is probably the person you've been talking to about how to direct the call. And she is, transcribing the report and making a log of the signals that are coming in. Likewise, anytime she has to call out to somebody, in the case of calling the military base just north of Paris, she needs to log that she is sending that out, and she has to keep a copy of what that communication that she sends out in her files. Matthew, if you would roll an observation.
Mm-hmm.
Observation plus, I'm going to guess, insight.
Okay.
We'll do a D1 just so you guys can kind of see how this works.
Certainly.
Sorry. Okay, so you get one success. All right.
Yep.
So you notice as you're kind of wandering around looking in the communications room and looking over Cheryl's shoulder, you can see that there are the two clipboards that she is looking at is in and out, and there is a timestamp, and then there is a document number, and then there is a person's name next to it. And as you're looking over your shoulder, you can see that there is a series of sequential numbers that align on both sheets. And then you notice on the out communications tab that there is like a break in the numbering. So instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so there's this gap on stuff that's going out.
That is.
And she notices that you're standing looking over her shoulder. I'm sorry, may I help you?
No, I was actually just I have a background in my own, and I was looking at this, and if you look here, there's a break in your sequencing.
I know, that's the problem, right? And I'm supposed to, and she opens up a file drawer. There is supposed to be a copy of all transmissions that are going out, and they all are numbered that are supposed to correspond with these numbers here. Likewise, she opens up another drawer. These are all the communications coming in, and we should have these papers all have numbers that match up to this. And she just grabs a blank. You can see here, this one is marked number 14 for today.
Mm-hmm.
When a communication I'm sending out for your Paris trip will be 14, and will have today's day and time and my name attached to it, and it goes out. These papers are actually missing.
How many people are in charge of the filing? I mean,
I'm the only one I'm the only one that's in here. And so it's my responsibility. And if I don't find out where the discrepancy has come from, I could be in big trouble.
Certainly.
And I'm like 20. If I screw up and I lose my job, I'll never find a husband.
It's all right. It's all right. Calm down. The one thing that I would ask is, does anyone else have need of these on a daily basis? Is it something that the brigadier could request, or someone could just walk in and take her?
If someone needs, so Antoine, for example, and she points to the office next door, when he's talking to you, when you were in Murano, he had to transcribe the conversation and mark it here. And she flips to a page, and sure enough, going all the way back to December 10th, there's a log where Valentino called in to talk to Pontus, and she's like, see, these two match up. And she goes into her drawer and she pulls out, here's the transcript of the conversation.
Do we know whose conversations are missing? Is it just random?
If we knew that, then I would know who to go to. And she's kind of looking at you like,
but obviously not.
Sorry. Hold on one moment. And there's a little light that flashes, and she puts on her headset. Number, please. Yes, one moment. And she flips a switch, and you see her pull out a sheet of paper, and she writes down the time, and you notice that she looks up at the dial on the on the radio, and she marks down the frequency, and she marks the notes and dots everything down, and who's calling, and somebody obviously wants to talk to the brigadier, and she's writing that down, and she flips another switch, and the brigadier, you can hear him in the office, hello, and then she takes the paper and she files it away. It's just like that.
So is this kept under lock and key? when you're not on shift, or is there
I mean,
someone
when
else?
I'm not on shift, no one is here and the main door is closed.
And if the main door is closed, no one would be able to get in without...
I mean, no one without a key, no one from here. The only people that would be able to get in is someone from here. It's not like the library. The staff is coming in and listening to, jazz music. Although I have noticed, sometimes I have come in and I have noticed that the frequency dial is not where I last left it, but that could happen. These machines are not built sturdy.
This all sounds very frustrating. I can definitely see where the problem would be. But
I know, and if it wasn't for my sister Amanda being here, I would be at my wit's end.
Perhaps I should go talk to her.
Oh, okay. She's probably out cleaning in the briefing room.
I intend to help you. I think I may be able to help you, but we have to keep it between you and I, and of course Amanda.
All right, you can roll a persuasion plus.
Oh God.
Persuasion plus, I think it's will, right? Will plus persuasion, D1.
I can do this.
I
can do this, you guys, because I remember what Monty told me.
We do have 1 point of momentum.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
This seems monumental. Okay, I'm going to monument. I remember what Monty told me back in the desert when he basically said, "Stop being a creep." 2 successes.
Hey, 2 successes. Very good.
Work.
You get 1 success back. She kind of believes you that you're there to help, although she does give you a weird look as you walk out the door. You are in the briefing room, and there is a woman. She looks very similar to Cheryl, but she has dark hair, and she is just doing general tidiness, and she sees you come in. Hello, sir. May I help you?
Certainly. Miss Huggins, yes?
Yes.
My name is Helias, Nicholas Helias. I was speaking with your sister about the matter of some missing documentation, and I wondered if you had any...
Have you seen the documentation? Do you know where the missing documents are?
I don't. I've only just arrived, but I also, I don't want anyone to get in trouble, and I have a history, of course. I came from a collegiate background, but I wondered if there was any information that you might have that might be useful if we were...
No, we are all at a loss of this.
No
one is admitting that they've come in and used the communications room when they haven't used the communications room. Does
everyone have a key?
I mean, they have a key to the main office, and none of the doors here are, have individual locks on them.
Okay. So it's definitely someone. Frustrating. Very frustrating. Well, I've agreed to assist in a very, very, very subtle way, and I hope, I don't want anyone to get into trouble, and I want to make sure that no one does get into any trouble. So if you do hear anything, or if you think of anything, please let me or my associate, Carlos. Did you see Carlos?
Yes, the attractive man.
Yes, the attractive. Well, there are 2 attractive men, but I think he is more attractive.
Yes, but the movie star is not my type.
Nor I.
He seems, and she leans in. He seems, and she leans in, to be more Antoine's type, if you know what I mean.
Very astute. Very astute. If you think of anything, or if you do see anything, please let me or Carlos know. I'm just kind of aghast at the situation. I'm hoping that it's simply just a matter of someone inadvertently taking the sheets, but I'm also wondering, I'm very worried. Is anyone acting unusual?
He looks at you.
other than myself.
Serious.
I'm quite serious.
Everyone has their assigned tasks and jobs. We are a very small division here in Paris, and so everyone seems to be doing their job as they should be doing their job.
So no one's behaviors have changed. No one is keeping odd hours or speaking.
Beyond Antoine, I don't know what Antoine is doing. He will look over the shoulder of the brigadier sometime, and then they will talk, and then he will go off and do something. I don't know what he's doing.
I may have to look into that. In any case, thank you. I apologize if I'm new here.
Very well. Yes. Well, I am Amanda Huggins. If you need me, just let me know.
Not going to make a joke. I promise. I'm going to walk. Seriously
Her
out.
sister's name is Cheryl Huggins. So Amanda and Cheryl Huggins. They are 2 sisters.
Cheryl and Amanda.
All right. Who wants to go next? That was the first interaction. Who would like to go next?
Think someone probably wants to go talk to Oliver, but
What do you want? And he hears you coming. Like, you barely are halfway through the kitchen. You can hear him. And as you walk in, you can see him like standing in front of a desk and closing a drawer and just kind of like trying to use his body to shield you from seeing whatever he's doing.
You're specifically, Rob, you don't want to be the person that talks to Oliver.
yeah, explicitly that.
Oh, okay.
It was
Not
like,
me.
Blisco was making the suggestion that someone should go talk to Oliver,
Oh, okay.
but
All right.
not himself because he is not good at people things. This is not a job for Blisco. Like, none of this part is at all.
Did you not see Blisco touching his nose in the classic gesture of not it?
Like, Blisco is not good with people.
Dutch will go talk to Oliver, but first, Dutch is going to find where they keep the alcohol.
The alcohol would either be in the brigadier's office, or you might be able to find some alcohol in the kitchen, although it's probably not encouraged to drink alcohol while on duty. So that would be a after hours kind of thing, that when people leave the building for the day, that then they can go to bars and whatnot. But I'm sure you could find some cooking sherry or something.
Well,
Or if you ask the brigadier, I'm sure he would give you a glass of his, or a bottle of his finest whatever.
Check with the commandos and see what they've got in their boot.
Yeah. Do I know, like, what do British people like to drink? That is
Warm beer. Yeah, warm beer. I'm sure it's a scotch or a whiskey of some kind. Probably a scotch, a Glenlivet. Let's say it's a Glenlivet.
I'll be I'll come in and like salute and be like, Brigadier, I need to requisition this for my investigation, and just grab a bottle of his scotch,
his decanter.
And like before he can even like do anything, I'm out the door.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll do a poor job of hiding it under my coat, and I will go down to the basement, to the lab, to Oliver's lab. Does Oliver?
What do you want?
Does Oliver share a lab with what's his name?
Nope. The medical lab and the technical lab are two different places. So if you scroll down on that, if you scroll down on the map, you'll see the basement level.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so again, he as soon as he hears you, you can see that he like snaps up and turns around and is trying to hide something. He's closing a drawer. What do you want?
Oh, just trying to find an out of the way place to, and he'll like pull out the bottle and like get a little drink during office hours.
I never touch the stuff, and you're Arbogast, right?
Yep. He like Dutch will start.
You probably shouldn't drink that either. And he kind of takes it away from you and sets it down. It's bad for you. It's prohibition stuff is probably, of course, all alcohol is bad for you.
Oh well, we're not in the U.S. And he like Dutch will start looking through like drawers and cupboards and be like,
"Hey, what are you doing? No, please stay out of there." And every time you try to open, he's trying to close the door. A glass. Why don't you just go talk to Miss Haddish? She's probably got a glass. You walked right through the kitchen.
Yeah, but I don't want people to know that I'm back here doing this.
I'm sorry. I don't have any glasses back here.
So here's what I would
equipment. I can't get any of this stuff wet.
Here's what I would like to do. I would like to hopefully fluster him to a degree where he's like off enough that I can look at the thing that he was trying to hide.
Yeah, so he just said, I can't afford to get anything wet.
Right. Dutch will basically pull a drawer, almost like a big drawer that maybe has some equipment in it or something like that, right? Like files or whatever.
Yeah. Wrenches,
too far. Yeah. Like too far so that it looks like it's going to fall off. And
no, watch out.
Yeah, the moment that he steps in, I let go of it and let him catch it and just walk over casually to the thing that he's working on and lift up the thing and be like, "What are you working on over here?" And try to get a good look at it.
Top secret stuff. It's none of your business. It is a technical, weird schematic. So let me roll an observation plus engineering.
Okay. Observation, insight plus engineering.
Yes. Or yes. Insight plus engineering.
You guys okay with me taking a momentum?
Yeah, I'd say so.
One success.
One success. All right. You notice that none of this makes sense to you, but it does look like a weapons design. You're kind of familiar with a weapons design. You've seen some schematics kind of like this before, although this looks like a weapon you've not seen before. What did you only got one success out of that?
Yeah.
That's what you notice on that just very quickly as you look at it. And he kind of quickly walks over. Hey, you're not supposed to be looking at that. And he grabs a bunch of papers and books and covers up the schematic.
And then also, while I was looking for glasses, I didn't happen to like open a drawer and find a bunch of like communiques that like shouldn't be there,
not in the he was closing the drawers too fast. If you wanted to do a search of the room, you'd probably need to do it when he's not there.
Okay.
Listen, I've got a lot of important work to do. You know, Hitler's trying to do crazy things, and we're trying to stop him. And I can't be disturbed right now. So can you take your shenanigans somewhere else, please?
Yeah, I'll take the bottle, and I'll be like, all right, but just so you know, Hitler's also trying to prevent you from having fun. So if you don't have any
having fun.
Oh, well, that's good. And like, yeah, Dutch will make his way out.
Okay. Blisco?
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Gonna yell at a car.
Weird thing is there's no garage in this place.
No.
I mean, it's a library, not a parking garage.
Gonna get
Fair
a
enough.
The French and their promenades for people to walk around and enjoy their city.
So again, if you guys haven't scrolled down, you know, I've got the basement level in there so you guys can see all of the rooms. You can go and investigate rooms. You can go and talk. I've listed all of our suspects up there on the upper right side of the screen. So if you need to go and talk to somebody, you can go and talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. You can go and poke around in rooms that don't have people in them.
Poking around in places where people aren't regularly at seems like the best use of a...
Okay, so there are a couple of rooms that people probably aren't normally in. One of them is the research library. That's typically the domain of the Brigadier Antoine and Pontus. There is the armory, where any weapons might be kept. Down in the basement level, there is the supply room, and then just some general, you know, cubby office space kind of stuff where people can sit and do stuff.
Yeah. What room would be like least used most of the time?
Probably the supply room.
Really? Okay. I think that'd be one of the ones
aren't going to be going
people...
in and out. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their stuff. I mean, sure, if somebody needs a stack of paper or some pens or but most of the people have their stuff in their area. Like, Dr. Sprecher would have all of his medical stuff in his medical area, and Oliver would have all of his stuff in his area, kitchen, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is the extent of the staff. There's no other staff or anything like that. Okay.
Nope. Amanda and Cheryl are clerical staff.
Okay.
And that's enough and so Harris and his commandos are not in all of the time. So when those five guys are not here and when Agent Howland is not around, there's only like 4 or 5 people in the whole place.
Sure. Okay.
Including Haddish, who is the cook.
Let's go check out the supply room.
Okay, so you go down to the basement. Please roll me a will plus resilience.
Oh boy.
D2.
Where's our momentum tracker?
There's no momentum.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry. Wait. Nope. Yep. I only got one success.
Oop.
You only got one success. You really have this urge as soon as you step down into the sub-basement that you have this urge that you want to go and explore in the catacombs again. Please roll me a will plus resistance one more time. Ooh, 0 successes. For a moment, you kind of black out. It seems like for a moment, the next thing you know, Mrs. Haddish is yelling at you and you kind of snap out and you were not in You were not near the supply room anymore. You're in the kitchen. What are you doing in here? Get out! I need to cook for everyone.
Sorry, ma'am. Seem to have been lost in thought.
Well, go on now. Food will be ready in a soon time.
Thank you.
Soon time to her is a real time. So, all right. So you are able to head back into the supply room. You are able to open up the door. You were able to walk in. There's no lock in there. This is a very dusty room. There's a single bulb hanging above the ceiling, or hanging from the ceiling. And you notice just like boxes and stuff. A lot of stuff has been moved around recently because they've only been here for a month or so. So there's not like a tremendous buildup of dust. But you can see there's already a broken chair in here. There's some buckets and mops. There looks to be like a shelf full of supplies that people would need for their offices. You could do an observation plus insight, D2 or D1, to look around and examine the supply room.
Woo!
You poke around and you notice down at the very back corner of the room, the darkest corner of the room, you notice a box that looks like it's been moved around a lot recently.
All right, let's check that out.
You open it up, and sure enough, there is a stack of papers in there that are communication logs. There is no name on the logs, but you do notice the timestamp, and the timestamps seem to be late at night, like 11 o'clock at night. And you also notice a frequency that the person or persons who are sending and receiving this information have noted down and then kind of scratched out hastily. And the frequency says 99.9.
Yeah, Blisco's gonna take notes of everything that he found. Like, take a quick note to shove in his pocket. Not actually, like, take any of the stuff he found with him.
Okay.
And kind of try and close the box. Make it... Doesn't want anybody to... Doesn't want it to look like he's been looking through it, like...
Yeah, make it look like nobody's messed with it.
Yeah, make it look like it was more or less how it was when we got there.
Okay. And then are you leaving the room?
Yep, I head back to talk to the other guys.
Oh, Blisco, hello. And you turn around and there is Dr. Sprecher standing there, and you can kind of see him take his kind of a greasy hair and kind of slide it back. Good to see you. Is there something that you need in the supply room?
Yeah, I needed some more paper and whatnot to take some more notes. Working on improving some of the extra tech weaponry.
Persuasion plus will, please.
Why are all my rolls a 10? Like,
well, you see, because we said, hey, let's have Doc go around and investigate rooms. And so Doc went and talked to some girls, and now you're investigating rooms. So I'm going to go out and yell at a car in our usual fashion.
Reasonable. What's the difficulty on this one?
Just a D1.
Okay.
We're a good team, though.
Yay, I did it.
Yay, success. Well, very good then. I hope your success is going well. Certainly, I wouldn't know anything about weapons or guns except for, what happens after you shoot someone with it. But if you haven't met Oliver, you should go and meet him. He's an interesting character.
Oh, yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. He seemed less than interested in my ideas.
He seems less than interested in talking with other people as much as he is doing his work and just kind of, I don't know, I've seen him just like staring at people sometimes. Kind of creepy.
To each his own, though. He's helping out the cause, then who are we to...
Yes. We will take these Nazis down and we will kill more of these Shoggoths. Like, you guys didn't see a Shoggoth in your adventures, did you?
No, not since Belgium.
That's too bad. I'm so interested in these creatures.
There was another monster with tentacles. Could have been a water shoggoth.
Oh yeah, that could have been maybe.
We've seen a few other weird things. I don't know. Like big tentacled thing.
Oh, where was this?
Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I did read parts of the reports. I didn't get to see everything. Dang that brigadier never sharing all the information with everyone.
Well,
Now, we have a briefing room for a reason, to brief everybody. He's just too brief.
His briefs are too brief.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sorry to keep you from your troubles. I'm going to go back and look at some slides.
okay.
All right. Valentino?
All right. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to be hanging out around the research room.
Okay. Are you hanging out in the research room or in the briefing room just outside of the research room?
Well, I think I'll pretty much be in the research room.
Okay.
More or less seeing what I can do to help out. And
I mean, Pontuson's in there, Antoine is in there. They're both looking over books. Every once in a while, they're kind of talk to one another, and the other will rush over and look over the shoulder, and you can kind of hear him giggle a little bit, and but then they go back, and it looks like they're just researching stuff. Occasionally, Antoine will ask you to get a book off the shelf, a specific book. It's a book that has some kind of weird long name that when you read it kind of gives you the creepy feeling. But these two seem very comfortable around these books and these texts.
I see. Well, for the most part, I am just kind of going to be hopefully subvertly observing Pontius, looking out for any suspicious activity.
Okay, so give me an observation and insight.
Is there any chance I can take twice the time it would take to do such a thing?
Sure. Yeah, what does that do? What does that skill do? Because you've got a lot of those that help on your observation.
Yeah, I got a scrutinize talent. If you play close attention whenever possible. Whatever. When you double the time it takes to make an observation test outside of combat, the first bonus D20 you buy is free.
Okay.
And
yeah, so you're gonna have to spend like an hour or so just hanging out in there with these guys, just kind of chitty chatting, helping out where you can. They may ask you a question about the luminaries or whatever, so you're there for quite some time.
Yep. I'll pretty much fill in whatever information I can help with. And you say insight and observation?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I roll with those 3 dice. Hey, 3 successes.
Hey, successes. Very good. These two seem to be buddies. These two seem to be like almost inseparable, except when you're in the room, then you notice that Antoine wants to be a little bit closer to you than Pontus, but these two are just like thick as thieves. They are just chatting and talking, and they make references to something dealing with astronomy or something with the stars. And of course, Pontus knows all about that. And Antoine is like, yes. And then Pontus may ask something about some esoteric, occultish thing. And Antoine is just full of the information for that. But there's you get no indication from just watching these two that there's anything sneaky going on with Pontus.
Okay.
I mean, he does got that weird accent that I can't nail down. But
yeah, who doesn't?
He's from everywhere.
Yeah, he's an everyman.
I mean, France and Germany have a long history of invading each other. The fact that sometimes he sounds French and sometimes he sounds German makes sense to me.
He sounds like he's from Permanence.
All right, Matthew, we're back to you.
Back to me. Well, what I hadn't thought about. There's a medical area downstairs.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I'm going to go there. Is there anybody there? Probably.
Oh, hello,
Sprecher.
Doctor. Yes, it's Dr. Sprecher.
Ah, yes,
I just
Doctor.
bumped into Blisco I just bumped into Blisco into the hallway. You guys are certainly making yourselves comfortable around here, aren't you? Come and look at this. And he brings you over and has you look at a microscope through a slide. Here's a cross section of one of the Shoggoths that we had before, of course, the explosion and all the things that happened. But this was one of the things that I was able to recover, and you can just see. And he's showing you all these little bits, this weird cell, slice in the slide, and pointing out things to you that you recognize as a little bit of biology. But then there's also some weird stuff in there that kind of freaks you out. Even you.
Even me?
Yep.
Oh, why, that's unnerving.
So what brings you down here?
Well, I was actually hoping that I might be able to refill my my medical kit, my first aid kit, and see, just in case we had some troubles.
Oh,
in
sure.
Italy.
Just go over to the cabinet and help yourself.
Oh,
You have
excellent, thank you.
one. You have one first aid kit.
What if I?
Or
No, you're not gonna let me do that, are you? Okay.
now, don't push it, Matthew. We're getting a
I
first aid kit.
I mean,
know,
you're supposed to be looking for a spy, so
I am looking for a spy. That's what's very important. See, I'm checking. He said, go over and take what you want. I'm looking in every cabinet and everything. Is there anything that could be hidden? Is there something that doesn't belong? Do any of his knives seem to have human blood when they should not?
So this is, medical laboratory. So there's all sorts of different medications, both pharmaceutically produced as well as Dr. Sprecher also seems to be able to have some like homeopathic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice that in one of the cupboards, you do see a little vial of something labeled belladonna. And it seems to be missing, it seems to be only half full. Rest of the stuff that he has, the turmeric, the honey, those bottles seem to be full because who would use that to try to cure somebody? But you notice that the belladonna is fairly low on that supply. Finding everything you need.
Yes. I was just checking out everything, making sure that we had, seeing if you had anything that we might be able to use. I don't know why I'm talking just like you. I have a problem with that sometimes.
Have you talked to somebody about that?
Oh, no one will listen. No, I was actually, I don't know. I've been having some trouble with my asthma lately, and I was wondering, if possibly you had. My mother used to call it the hand of glory. A little bit of belladonna.
Yes. I do believe I got a fresh supply of that 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
It should be right there in that cabinet. And
All I'm finding is this half-empty container. I didn't want to.
That's curious. And he picks it up and he looks at it and he's turning it over in his hand. It's like, no one has come in looking for belladonna. Anyway, if you need some, I can try to get you what you need. Although you need to be careful, as you know, too much of this stuff will kill you, especially if it's diluted in a liquid or a food.
Mm-hmm. It's also good for spasms. I think this will definitely do, and I very much appreciate you letting me avail myself of your supplies.
Yes, of course. My medicine is your medicine. As long as it's there to help heal the mind, the body, and the spirit, it's for everyone.
Well said. All right. Well, I believe that's everything. Unless now, is there anything that you might need from us? Any knowledge that something, anything that might have been happening that you're wondering?
Lisco mentioned a giant monster that you fought in Egypt. You didn't happen to have a supply of that, a sample of that, did you?
I just might.
No, you don't.
And I look through my bag. Oh, I'm sorry.
And he's like, that's unfortunate. Okay, well.
Does he know about my
If you could
hood?
try to get samples, I would be, would be great for my research, but I understand. The boys, the commandos, they always making excuses about not being able to get samples from whatever they're fighting, undead creatures or whatever, because we are in a life and death situation and we're running for our lives. And he's kind of having his hands up in the air as he's saying running for our lives. And I guess I understand this.
Certainly. I'll definitely keep an eye out in the future.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Should we encounter anything else? Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate your assistance today.
Yep. All right. Dutch.
All right. Dutch is going to figure out where the soldiers tend to hang out.
Yeah, mostly the games room or the mess hall.
Okay. He is going, and those are right next to each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he is going to move the party there and basically try to get the soldiers a talking and a drinking, and also since she's within earshot, Miss Haddish as well.
Okay, so you get some glasses, and you're pouring the drinks for everybody, and you find a little phonograph, and you're playing a record. That's that jazz music that some people don't like, but certainly everybody seems to be pretty happy about this, and that's going on for about 5 minutes or so, and then one of the commandos just kind of drops his glass, and he kind of bends over, and he's like, I don't feel so good. And he just collapses right on the floor in front of you.
Oh, jeez. Doc! And
Dr. Sprecher and Doc both come running in. This interaction is happening right as Matthew is finishing up with Dr. Sprecher.
Okay.
Run in.
Hey, this guy
There's
just
a man
dropped.
lying on the floor. My goodness, what happened?
He was just hanging out, took a drink, and then did he like hold his stomach or something?
Yeah, he held his stomach.
Yeah, held his stomach and then dropped.
I'm going to check his pulse.
It's pretty weak.
Uh-oh.
You can provide first aid. Insight
provide
plus
it.
medicine D1.
Ooh, I have a specialty in that.
Yep.
What does that do?
It just
Keeps him from
increases your
dying.
bonus range.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that gave me like a third die, because that.
No, it makes
Right.
it more likely that you'll get another success.
Yeah, critical success.
Yeah.
Cool. 3 successes. Possibly
3
4
successes.
That looks like 4 successes, most likely.
I will allow it.
Because you said it does it extends.
Yeah,
my
what's
crit.
your medicine?
Yeah, so that's 4 successes. It's 5. So
Yeah,
that's
so-
4 successes. So
Yep.
this man, Matthew, you're able to like stick your finger down his throat and get him to vomit up whatever is in his stomach.
Mhm.
But it's pretty clear that this man is showing the signs of being poisoned.
What do his pupils
You look
like?
around, and you see all of the other soldiers are standing around with glasses in their hand and alcohol.
Put those down. Nobody drink anything.
What? Why? This is the good stuff. This is the Brigadier stuff.
I think it's the poison stuff.
Poison? And you see one of
Doctor?
them just like spit out onto the floor. Dr. Spricker comes down and is looking and is kind of palpitating the patient. We need to get him some water. But yes, I agree, Doctor. This man appears to have been poisoned. But with what, I don't know. Alcohol poisoning usually doesn't set in until at least the 10th drink with these boys.
But a trope of belladonna.
Who would put belladonna in an alcohol? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The two of you are able to stabilize this man. The doctor wants you to help him bring it into the medical lab where he can get this guy up on a gurney and start in some intravenous solutions and pumping the stomachs and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
Congratulations. You have saved a man.
Good. Just one?
Just the one. Everybody else
Okay.
is not really showing any signs of
Okay.
being poisoned.
Dutch isn't looking bad.
Dutch, how much did you drink?
Probably just a swig.
Yeah, so no, he's not.
Good.
Dutch is like during this, Dutch is like pacing himself because he's trying to like be alert as other people get drunk.
Trying to stay
So
away.
speaking of,
We didn't get very far, I'm guessing, before this guy
so speaking
dropped.
of being alert, how about you roll an observation plus insight?
Did we get some bonus momentum from Matthew's roll?
You do. You have 5 momentum total now.
One
One success. Yeah, you notice while all of this is going on, Mrs. Haddish, she's just watching kind of in horror of what's going on. But you can also see across the galley area through the kitchen, you can see Oliver peeking his head around the corner, just kind of staring intently at all the crazy activity of 2 doctors trying to save a soldier's life. Okay, let's go to Blisco.
Oh boy. Antoine was the one who informed us, or all of us know that Antoine was the one who told us initially about the possibility of a spy. And we've also all been informed that Antoine is the guy talking to Eisenhower on our behalf.
Yes.
We know it was
Okay.
Eisenhower. I don't know if Valentino let us know that it was.
Oh yeah, that it was
but,
Antoine. You're correct.
Antoine.
Antoine.
Yeah.
He just said he
brought up.
heard. Yeah.
So we don't
And-
necessarily know that, largely because we've been in rooms where people are hanging out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who I would want to talk to then.
I mean, you don't have to talk to anybody. You could go and search around some more.
Well, I already found suspicious stuff.
Yeah,
If I wanna-
you could go tell somebody, probably.
Mm.
I guess I'm gonna try. I would like to. Blisco's first act at this point would be to try and find the other guys to be like, "Hey, this is what I found."
Okay,
Mm.
there seems to be. You walked through the library, and then you realized, oh, wait a minute! I think I saw Dutch back downstairs. You get back downstairs, and you see just a commotion going on in the games room where everybody is kind of looks like one of the soldiers has fallen down, and your doc plus Dr. Sprecher are both trying to help him. You see Mrs. Haddish is staring intently, and you also see Oliver coming out of his tech lab to kind of see what's going on. He's kind of standing in the kitchen. They pick up the man, the soldier, and they drag him off into the medical area. As you hear Doc telling everybody, stop drinking the alcohol. People are pretty. People seem pretty shook up.
I kind of approach the group, see if I can't pick up on what happened without having to ask someone, and if
Like Dutch will wave you over. Dutch has been taking the glasses away from people and setting them on the counter. Like, well, they might need to look at these.
Oh yes, okay. I won't touch those. Yes, says Mrs. Haddish, and she just kind of backs away. She throws a tea towel over the top of them.
Right.
Oh, hey, Bug Eater, what's up?
kind of gesture to step towards or away from everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, you can see there's a little corridor that goes back into like a little cubby area back there.
Yeah.
I'll tell him what I found in the supply room, show him the notes that I made about it, and
That's good. That's probably the most solid evidence that we've seen so far. Although I haven't gotten a chance to talk to anybody else. Go tell Valentino about this too. I think Doc is probably going to have his hands full, but I'll go talk to him here in a bit and see if he's found anything out.
Okay. What just happened?
Oh, somebody got poisoned.
Huh.
This drink was the Brigadier's, and I stole it from him. And somebody drank it, and they fell over because they were having a bad reaction. So, do I having sipped it? Do I feel weird or anything like that?
There's like a weird, your lips feel kind of tingly.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that it wasn't that somebody dropped something in his drink or anything like that. Pretty sure the drink itself is poison, but I gotta take the bottle over to the science guys. So I'll talk to Doc while I'm there.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the science guys. The doctor was the only person I've seen head into the supply room today.
Well, everybody goes to the supply room.
I don't know that he
You would
grabbed
expect.
anything.
Okay. I won't let anything slip. I'll just bring this to Doc and mention what you found to
Alright.
him in case he's got something.
They seem pretty busy working on this soldier, but he seems stabilized at this point.
Okay.
Go find Valentino then, because
Okay.
All right, you wander back upstairs, and we are now back in the research library with Valentino. Valentino, what's up?
Oh, again, I'm probably just hanging out, helping them get reference material, answering any questions they have. But yeah, basically, if Blisco shows up, I'll probably use that as a convenient excuse to excuse myself so I can investigate elsewhere. And
Okay, where would you like to investigate?
well, so I assume he tells me.
Yeah, you two can walk along to wherever you're heading to, and he can brief you on what he has found.
Yeah. Supply room, you say?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if one of us should see if we can post up in there or try to hide and see if we can't see who comes looking for that material there.
That might be worthwhile.
Fortunately, I don't know that any
Well,
of
that any
us
of us
are particularly sneaky.
Yeah.
Doc has the highest stealth.
And I'm sneaky.
And he's not particularly sociable, so maybe that would be a good thing to sick him on.
Sneaky. Oh, yeah. Sneaky Doc.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, once he finishes with his patient, maybe.
Patient.
You guys want to have a conversation? It's been a little while. You see, you guys have wandered around the library, wandered back down. Oh, Blisco, please roll me a will plus resilience again, please.
Oh my God, why?
I don't know why. Why does everyone think that he's very good? Again, you get this kind of wave that passes over you of wanting to go explore the catacombs again, but it passes.
Did he get bit by a ghoul?
He did get bit by a ghoul.
Oh, yeah.
Don't have any weird cravings, do you?
Mm-hmm. No more than normal.
Oh, there's Doc washing his hands off as he comes out of the medical area, and you all three run into each other in the games room. Dutch, where are you at?
I was taking the bottle back to Doc.
Ah, okay. Doc, you run into Dutch, and he's got a bottle of alcohol.
Where'd you get that?
This was the Brigadier's office.
The Brigadier's?
Yeah.
Like his personal stash?
Yeah.
Oh. So somebody's trying to poison the Brigadier, but his office doesn't have a lock.
Are you sure that this is poisoned? Are you sure that this is poisoned?
I'm not. I was bringing it. Yeah, I was bringing it to you guys so to see if you guys could check.
I'm gonna analyze it.
You can run a test, insight plus medicine. This will be a D1. One success. Very good.
One success.
Yeah, you run a little test on this, and it comes back positive for the deadly nightshade.
Okay, we found something else out.
Yeah, even Dr. Sprecher seems surprised by your findings. Have you talked to the Brigadier about this? This seems rather important.
This just happened, so I'll go tell him about it. But
are you all gonna go?
I'll hang on. I'll be like, Dr. Sprecher, we don't know where this came from, so we need you to keep mum for now about what we found in this drink.
Yes, I will classify it under patient-doctor confidentiality.
Great, thank you. All right.
But that is the Brigadier's stash, as you say.
Yes.
Okay. I will trust you for now, but if I see anyone drinking alcohol in these premises, I will have to say something immediately.
Oh, by all means. Oh, by the way, there's like a bunch of glasses in the kitchen if you need more.
Yes, I'll take care of it. Yes, thank you.
Great.
And he walks out.
Okay, let's compare notes, gentlemen.
All right, so we are now entering phase 2 of the find the spy, the analysis phase. Talk amongst yourselves. I will give you 5 minutes. If you need more, we can get there, but I'm going to start it at 5.
Okay.
So, the doctor seemed surprised when I was refilling my kit that he didn't have as much belladonna as he thought.
Do we think there's belladonna in that alcohol?
There's absolutely belladonna in that alcohol. Deadly nightshade. Atropa belladonna. Someone stole from the medical stash and somehow put it into the Brigadier's drink.
Is it hard to get into the medical lab?
I don't believe so. Open? I mean, I don't think any of these rooms seem to have internal locks, so anyone with access to the area should have access to nearly everything inside, if I understand correctly.
Including the Brigadier's office.
Does the Brigadier's office not have a lock either?
I don't remember.
Yeah, this space, I mean, again, they've cobbled this together out of, the space that they have available. So this would be an area that is fairly open in a library research area of the wing. So there's a lot of open communication that goes on. So when this was switched over to military use, the need to install locks is a low priority at this point. And that's why the main entrance to each of these areas does have a new lock on it.
Okay. So the Brigadier's doesn't have a specific lock. The only
Nope.
locks are like up out front.
Yep, the one that leads out into the hallway and the rest of the library.
Okay. So no locks for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it difficult since everyone has access to everything.
And while we might assume that the doctor has the most expertise in poisoning someone, he seemed genuinely surprised. Both when I pointed
Actually,
out that
that's a good point. If you wanted to poison someone with belladonna, would you use the amount that seemed to be missing, or would you use less or more? Because if you would use exactly that amount, that points to Dr. Sprecher.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a good question. Stephen, do I know the answer to that
Observation plus medicine would tell you the...
Observation.
I'm sorry, insight plus medicine would tell you that answer.
Oh, I'm even better at that.
Two successes. Three successes.
Okay. So now we have
yes, you know exactly how much it would take to put enough poison into that alcohol decanter. You know that there is an over amount of belladonna that was put into that drink.
So
it's almost like double or triple the amount that a normal person would. Well, I say normal person. Anyone who's poisoning somebody else is obviously abnormal. But this is like way more than is needed.
Someone with a pharmacological background wouldn't use near that much. This is 2 or 3 times as much as you would need.
Okay, so that clears to a certain degree, as much insofar as we know, clears the doctor.
It seems to contraindicate him at least.
Yeah.
Well,
I spent some time keeping an eye on Pontius. I didn't get any suspicious whiffs from him.
Do you think that if there was something suspicious about Pontius, that Antoine would notice and to tell you?
Yeah, I feel like if there's something he would notice, he would definitely let me know.
Okay, so that clears Pontius somewhat, and you trust Antoine.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Do you find anything else out?
No, that's pretty much where I've been this while.
Bug Eater?
The stuff in the supply room that I showed you is what I found.
Oh yeah, we didn't get a chance to tell these guys, so why don't you tell them about it?
Found a bunch of logs in the supply room. Here's my notes on what they said. I tried to leave them there so if they showed up,
they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't notice. Looks like a bunch of communique late at night.
They seem to be checked out late evening.
Yeah.
Checked out, or the communication came in late in the evening?
Communication comes in late in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that gives us 2 potential vectors to catch someone. Sit on the radio at the appropriate time and keep an eye on the supply room.
Would anyone want to be in the supply room keeping an eye?
Let's
hiding spot.
Let's see if we have anything else before.
What's this number, Blisco?
99.9.
99.9? What is that?
The frequency.
Does anyone remember the frequency on the radio in the desert?
Oh.
When the radio was on the wrong frequency in the morning and we all took it for granted?
does
we-
anyone?
What,
I mean,
Let me.
I
Could
will
we-
tell you it's 99.9.
Hmm.
And we might remember that. Wasn't it 99.9?
No, specifically, I said it was 999.
9.
Uh,
27.
okay, so we know 99.9 is suspicious frequency.
The frequency that Lizelle was using.
Yeah.
So someone here may be working either with Lizelle or the same people with whom she was working. But of course, anyone.
So
could
almost
have access.
certainly. I mean, there could potentially have been other stuff, but almost certainly these are Nazis,
yeah.
as opposed to, say, political rivals of the brigadier or something like that.
We can. What? Were all the commandos drinking with you,
Yes.
including Lieutenant Harris?
He has not made an appearance.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not.
So they've talked about Harris. We've never met Harris.
I mean, you've
So
met
we
him
can-
before, but not since you've been back.
Okay. Was he the gentleman with the blazer cannon in our earlier adventure, or was he someone else?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
So we can assume, well, I guess we can't assume because there's no way he would have assumed that his men would have access to that. But we can assume, of course, that those commandos didn't realize that someone had.
You're right. That does. We're assuming that both the poison and the missing logs come from the same person.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that all the commandos were drinking pretty much clears all of them. Did I get?
They were happy to share the drink.
Mm-hmm.
They were eager to share drink with you.
Did I get Ms. Haddish?
No, she didn't.
to get a drink?
Haddish didn't want to drink anything because she was busy cooking
Busy cooking.
late lunch, second lunch.
Right.
Second lunch is my favorite.
Hobbits.
I don't know if it would immediately put her out of suspicion, but I believe the younger Miss Huggins, or the blonder Miss Huggins, was very,
Sure.
very upset about the missing reports.
So the missing reports,
Mhm.
basically, they're her responsibility, right?
Mhm.
So
She would have to be upset even if she were behind it.
she would have to act upset even if she were behind it. It's like too obvious if they get the person in communications to mess with the communications.
Mhm.
Also, it's I don't know how hard is it to falsify like a communication? Like they're pretty straightforward, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, you just have to write out the report.
So presumably she would be able to hide her tracks.
If I were the communications person and I was sending out false communications, I simply wouldn't fill out a report.
Yeah.
Exactly. You wouldn't after the fact. You just wouldn't make.
What else did you notice about those reports, Blisco?
Late at night, the frequency.
No name.
Yeah, no name. I don't remember what else.
And then it was hastily scratched over.
Did handwriting
With,
look
pen?
like anything we've seen?
Yeah, pen. Yeah, like handwriting, right? Yeah. Like someone who would normally be filling out the reports and then realized, crap, and then scratch it out and then was like, oh, now I got to get rid of these reports.
So there is one other thing that we haven't tried that maybe we should. We know that the Black Sun has access to magic, basically.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we could try to use Valentino's mask to see if there's a ghost spy or something like that.
Oh, we could try.
Well,
I've heard worse ideas.
So maybe
I'm
before-
intrigued. Where are you gonna do this?
Yeah,
Where
where's
are you gonna do this at, Brian?
Oh boy. Where would we?
I'd say there are two places where we know This person has been the communications room and the stock room. Yeah, the supply room.
I mean, I guess I could look around the supply room. Feel like it'd be a little bit noticeable in the communications room.
All right, you guys need to go back and do a further interaction phase. I'll give everybody one pass because we need to get going on this. So,
sure.
All right, who wants to go first?
Let's have Valentino go first since we have something solid for him.
Valentino, you're going to go into the supply room.
Yep, and look around with a mask.
All right, so you put on the mask, and the room seems pretty plain. And then all of a sudden, standing over in a corner is something that kind of looks like one of the ghouls that you encountered in the catacombs. And he just looks at you and, hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name was Fred.
Fred. Hey.
And now I'm dead.
I see. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't suppose you would know who would have been snooping around this crate here?
The one man. The one that's angry all the time. I don't know his name.
I see. The angry man, you say?
I do say.
God, Brian, get us some clarification here before he fades away.
Would that angry man? Do you know if his name would have been Oliver? Does that ring a bell at all?
I don't know any of their names. Sorry.
I see. What's he look like?
Alive?
Alive. Short hair, long hair. All right. Thank you. I'll go.
And you take off the mask, and of course the ghoul goes away. But at that moment, you hear rattling at the supply room door.
I'll try to hide somewhere.
Okay, so you duck behind a bunch of boxes, and into the room comes Amanda Huggins. She is the dark-haired sister of the two Huggins sisters. And she is poking around, looking around like she is looking for something. She opens one box, doesn't see what she's looking for, opens up another box. She pulls out a notepad. And then as she starts to turn around, she sees the box in the corner. And she approaches it and notices that it's out of place. She picks it up to go put it back on the shelf where all the other boxes like it are. And the top falls off. And she looks inside, pulls out the stack of papers and, drops the box and quickly runs out of the supply room.
All right. I will not try to stop her in any way. But when I think, beat has passed, or if I come out now, it doesn't seem like I'm chasing her. Kind of see where she goes from there.
Yeah, as you are walking through the lower level of the general space in the basement, you see three of the remaining soldiers are just kind of sitting around the mess hall. They're very, very somber. You bump into Oliver. Watch where you're going. As he's kind of walking through the games room, Mrs. Haddish is starting to plate up food for people, and Amanda is heading out the door and up the stairs back into the main Section M offices. You continue to follow her, and she goes into the communications room, closes the door behind her, and suddenly you hear kind of a squeal of delight from both women.
I see. Okay. I'll try to find, the other fellas and let them know that the dead guy told me is an angry man.
All right, well, that narrows it down.
I mean, does it?
Not really.
It removes
all the women.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which
all right, Dutch.
Yeah,
Dutch, you have one thing left to do.
So we know, Valentino told us that it was the angry man. Howland doesn't seem particularly angry, right?
I mean, this guy, the only time that you've seen him is in the briefing room, and all he's been doing is reading his Paris Gazette. You may have seen him briefly come in and get a cup of coffee from Miss Haddish, and then he goes right back up to the briefing room where he sits around like he's waiting for an assignment. So
Sure.
all he's doing is reading the paper or magazines or a book or something. But he seems rather bored the entire time.
Okay. I guess I'll go find Oliver.
Okay, you go find Oliver, and you see by the time you go back downstairs, you go into the technical lab, and it is empty.
Okay. Toss it real quick.
Yeah, this is really weird. If you go back and you now have a little bit more time to look at the schematic that you saw earlier, because you have a little bit more time to look at it, you can scan it. You can see down in the lower right-hand corner of the schematic the letters AMI.
AMI. Does that mean anything to me?
It does mean something to you.
Wait a minute. AMI.
Yep.
Oh no.
Is there a serif on these letters?
A slight one, yeah.
Ah. Slight serif. Okay. I will go find Oliver. I'll go straight to the supply room and see if
as you're coming out of as you're entering the mess area from the kitchen, you see Oliver coming out of the supply room. Did you need something?
Yeah. Did you hear somebody got poisoned?
I saw it. I heard the commotion and I saw everything. It's a good thing the doctor was there to save him, and that other weird guy. He's a doctor too?
I mean, he's our doctor.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. I heard that they poisoned, that there was arsenic in that drink.
Arsenic?
Yeah.
That's weird.
How come?
You don't hear of anyone poisoning people with arsenic anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they had it handy for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be about.
Can I check, try to read his reaction?
Sure. Why don't you do, what would that be? That would be an insight plus...
Observation.
Observation? I guess observation would be the best thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, let's just do that.
Unless, my persuasion is somehow being pulled into this.
Let's just do observation and insight.
Okay. So that would be a low number, or a low number for me. 9, 10, 11. Just 11.
And you've got 7 momentum, so.
Okay, let me spend, do I know the difficulty on this?
Let's call it a D2 on this one, because this one's going to need some very good observation skills.
Okay, Boyos, I'm stealing 2 momentum. Since we have a full 7.
So 1 would get you 1. You'd need to do 2 more to get an additional die after that.
Yep.
So you're using 3 total?
3 total. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
1 success.
1 success. You are not able to really get a sense on everything, although when you say arsenic, his eyes kind of give you a weird kind of an expression.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that you get from him. There's nothing else that you notice. If you'll excuse me now, I've got to get back to work. I'm doing important stuff for the war effort, this secret war effort.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of pushes past you and exits.
Yeah.
Blisco.
I'm going to go talk to Antoine and deal with something other kind of outside of what we're currently dealing with.
All right. You poke around in the Section M offices, and you poke your head into the research library, and you see Pontus and Antoine both holding the orb and looking through it at the same time. Oh, yes, look how you turn this way, and it always seems to be pointing in the same direction. Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, that's really weird.
Maybe you should follow it.
That's a good idea. Brigadier! Oh, yes? Can we take the orb out for a walk? Yeah, very well. Okay, we're going to go follow this. Come on, Antoine. Yes, Pontus. And they just kind of follow the line as they walk out the door, and they notice that as they are in the middle of the briefing room, they turn, and it's like the line is pointing them towards the hallway, and so they walk out the hallway and start walking down the hallway down to the stairs and down the stairs, and you can, if you want to follow them, they kind of go out the door, and then they kind of come back in, and enter back into the briefing room and into the research library. We're back, Brigadier. Oh, that's very good. Yep.
As I wasn't following the entire time, but
yeah, if you want,
just
sure.
Kind of did a circle.
Yeah, they've kind of like kept peering through the orb, and they would turn, turn to a cardinal direction, and then they would make an observation, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is very cool." And then they'd walk a ways, and then they'd turn another cardinal direction and go, "Oh, this is very interesting." And then eventually they just feel like they've got enough information, and they head back to the research library.
What'd we figure out, guys?
I'm not sure quite yet. Blisco, right? It seems to be pointing in a particular direction, but every time that we turn, it's almost like a compass pointing to something. I'm not sure what that means. It's fascinating, though. And we tried, stepping behind a building, and the path would change, but every time we would follow that path, it's still pointing in a cardinal direction. Now, we probably would need a bigger map or something to try and pinpoint that down, but or just maybe follow this thing for a while. I don't know.
All right. Well, I had a couple things for you, Antoine.
No, yes.
I need to give you some information in your office.
Oh,
I've got a couple things I have to write down. You're going to want to hear some of this.
No, okay. Is everything okay with Valentino?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Oh, okay. Pontus, I'll be right back. And he kind of hands him the glass orb, and you two go into his office.
Yeah. I'm going to tell him about what I figured out with the gun. I'm going to make a second schematic thing and and hand him the very discharged crystal I had earlier, and please get this to the general.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so focused on the orb, and yes. Oh, of course. Yes. I will get that to him probably later tonight. I will. We have a drop point over in the park that I will definitely get this to him.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to make sure we got that specific piece of information there, and didn't know if there was going to be a chance for you to actually get a hold of it without me giving it to you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. I'm sure the general and and of course the great United States would be very appreciative of this. Good job.
All right. So the orb's pointing way outside the building?
Yes. Even if you go outside, it still points in a direction.
Huh.
It seems to be right now pointing somewhere easterly.
Well, that nixes that thought.
Which was what?
Something about the orb supposed to be guiding you to secrets.
Oh. Well, I mean, it kind of is, right? I mean, we don't know what the ultimate destination is, but yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I was maybe hoping for it to guide us to some more close to home secrets.
Oh. The SPY.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear to be doing that, though.
Nope. Oh, well.
Okay. He kind of just giggles and take care.
All right, I'll leave you to your work.
Valentino.
My thought right now is to kind of try to suss out Agent Howland.
Yeah, he's sitting right there in the briefing room. He's just kind of casually paying attention as people go in and out and see people rushing by, and he just pays attention to his book or his paper or his magazine, drinking his coffee. He sees you walk up.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you enjoying the mission that you've been on?
It's been pretty exciting. Have you been getting much excitement yourself?
I've been trying to track down this fog thing that you mentioned, and I have not had any luck. I've driven over the area in a car. I've walked it. I've done it both day and night. I have no idea what triggered your, I'm sorry, but at this point, a hallucination.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, it definitely seemed to be night, and as several of the locals specifically told us to be home at before midnight, I think it was. That probably would be the time to check it out. But
yeah, I've done that. I've not done anything. And of course, I'm dealing with the ghouls down in the catacombs. And we think we have kind of reached an interesting balance.
Huh.
They keep us informed of things that they're hearing through the underground, and we provide them with some sustenance, let's say.
That's a interesting relationship, but I guess
It's gruesome, but,
Yeah, I guess it must be nice not to have every creepy thing against us.
Yes, snake people, right?
Yeah, apparently, but yeah, why not? So a lot of action
Kind of stares at you.
Good bit of action's been going on here, it seems like.
Really? I haven't really noticed.
Oh yeah, apparently, like, say someone got sick off of some drink here not too long ago.
Oh, God. And he pushes his coffee away.
Yeah, well, I think it was something a bit stronger than that, but...
Oh, Mrs. Haddish's tea.
Nah. Just, be careful of any spirits around here, apparently. I guess more ways than one. But,
okay.
Yeah, well, I guess, you have a good evening.
You too. It's good to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you around the office. Good luck on completing your mission.
At least some good things, I hope.
Yes, quite. Smash those Nazis, right?
Yeah, we certainly try whenever we get the opportunity.
Good.
Did we get Doc to go check something out?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Doc. Did you want to do something?
You mean I didn't?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And you can always pass if you want, if you feel like you've gotten all your information that you need.
Oh, I have now. Where's Pontus?
He's in the research library.
Is there a way to sneak into his office without going through the research library and being obvious about it?
Yes, if you look on the Section M offices map, you can see the research library and his office are on the opposite sides of the room. So you walk in and you notice that the only person in the briefing room right now is Agent Howland, and you're able to just walk right into Pontus's office.
Excellent. I'm going to look for anything that looks out of place. I'm gonna...
Yeah, observation and insight.
Hang on.
Yeah, 2 successes.
Possibly
there doesn't seem to be anything out of place. The only thing, observation and insight? I don't think so.
Right, I didn't have anything under my observation. Never mind.
No. Yeah, so the only thing that seems to be out of place is he's got a lot of astronomy stuff. So he's got a couple of telescopes. He's got some maps that of the stars. That seems to be about the only thing that you notice in his office that might be out of place. You see some references to some horoscope stuff. That's about it. It seems fairly normal for a research office.
Nothing that, seems to indicate easy ways to poison your boss. Toxins of the Middle East. Nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Did you say astronomy or astrology?
No, astronomy. He's their astronomy guy. He's their star guy.
Okay. So I'm going
He's the one that they used. He's the one that they used to help figure out that the Orion's belt and the pyramids, they confirmed Valentino's idea that it was pointing in something. And then if you followed the pyramids, it led you right to the Forbidden City.
Perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to waltz out of here in my sneakiest fashion.
All right. Analysis phase, everybody.
So apparently Amanda Huggins had found the missing documents.
Okay. Unfortunate, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel she didn't see you, right?
No, she did not seem to see me, and by her and her sister's reactions, they were happy to have him back, and yeah, it doesn't seem like that they'd really be suspects here.
Okay. And it was just the two of them, so it wasn't even something that anyone might be worried that they were being watched.
Okay. I have a question. If
Okay.
you were, this is in character to the group. If you were some sort of ghost, would you think that Bug Eater is angry all the time?
Me?
Yep. Because the ghost said the angry guy interacted with the box.
Yes.
I would say not.
I would generally also say no.
All the time seems to imply more than once.
Well,
And as far as I know, Bug Eater's only actually been in this facility today. Or
No, you've been in the library before.
have we? This is the same building?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we've been in the library before, but probably not in this stock
This
room
area.
or
Okay.
this supply
Particular.
room. Okay. What else?
I had a bit of a discussion with Agent Howland. Can't say I got any sort of distinctive impression one way or the other there, though.
Did he
Yeah.
seem angry?
No, he seemed pretty friendly.
Yeah, I talked to Oliver again. Well, two things. One, I couldn't really get enough of a reaction out of him to see if I could trick him into confessing. But some of the schematics that he has
Mhm.
are at least partially belong to a company that has been selling things to the Nazis. But mostly above board in the United States, selling things to Germany right now is not illegal.
A company.
Yes.
Your company?
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, my father's company. So between the guy who's angry all the time
Mhm.
and somebody working to some degree with AMI, which is the company, do things point towards Oliver?
Those the schematics he kept hiding when I came in there?
They're certainly the schematics that he kept hiding when I came in there.
Were
Probably
either
the
of you
same
able
ones.
to tell what they were?
They were some sort of weapon, but I couldn't get a good look at them. Well, I did get a good look at them, but I didn't really understand them. Truth be told. If only we had some sort of, I don't know, magical way to ask a question.
I mean,
If
Okay.
only.
I've been kind of looking towards something like that myself. Might take some time to try to pull off, and right now I can't say I'm all that practiced at it.
Do it.
Uh,
I'm not sure what you're even talking about. I was just throwing stuff out. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, I say I've been working on something with Antoine. Maybe some way that we can get some magical information. But
okay. Well, we'll apply that to the next mystery.
Was your mask phase part of this, or was it part of the original discovery phase?
it was part of this.
Did you learn anything with your mask?
Yeah, I mean, I talked with a dead guy named Fred who said it was some angry guy who was messing with that box that had the communiques.
Did you count how many questions you were able to ask him?
Let's see. I asked him his name.
Because I feel I wonder if there's like whether it's a timed element or a certain number of things.
This wouldn't be something that you would know unless he specifically told you the entire conversation and what happened.
That's true.
So that is player knowledge,
Based on
not
previous
character knowledge.
My bad. I was thinking previous conversations had been. He had told us about the ghost girl fading and fading and fading.
He had told us about that, but at the time we didn't know if it was because the ghost girl was like actually fading.
Right.
So-
Never mind.
Yeah, this is something that he'd have to like tell us about.
Well, okay.
So do you guys think you know who is it? Who's the spy?
Definitely not, but we have a most likely culprit.
Yeah.
Probably good enough.
We have someone that we
Go to
think
the
did it.
acquisition phase and go to the brigadier's office.
Acquisition or accusation? Because
Accusation
both are fun.
phase. Sorry, it's the accusation phase, and you can go into the brigadier's office. Oh, hello, boys. What have you found out?
I'll hand him a pad where I have tried to basically write out all of the information that we found.
Mm-hmm.
Cross-referencing each one and checking it off as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Location and
As you probably now know, the hidden or the missing logs were in the supply room.
Yes, Cheryl said that she was able to find them, or her sister found them. This is all very good.
Yes. We found them first, and we're hoping to lay a trap for whoever was doing it. But of course, she then found them, and we don't suspect her. So,
Well, that's good.
or her sister.
Yeah. However, I guess as a side important thing, we're pretty sure these were communiques to the Nazis.
I suspected that they were probably reaching out to the Nazis or the Black Sun or, you know,
so the
these
frequency,
wolf people.
Yeah, the frequency that they were using is the same frequency that Sweet was using to communicate with her group.
Do you think she was communicating here?
Were these incoming transmissions that were missing?
The ones you found were outgoing. He's just asking you a question.
No. I think here, whoever was here and her were both communicating to the same place, but I don't think she was communicating here.
Okay.
Assuming that I understand.
Concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're on the right track.
Okay. Okay, have you heard about the poison?
Yes, I did.
So your drink...
I'm glad that Jonesy is feeling okay.
Yeah, me too. Your drink was poisoned, we found.
Yes, I heard.
It was poisoned with belladonna. Also, simultaneously... go ahead.
I've been drinking from that container for weeks now. At least one a day, at least one a day for, medicinal purposes.
Right. Well, one wasn't enough. It's kind of complicated, but basically, I think they were trying to poison you in the long term, or they didn't know how much to use. But I don't think that you had been drinking enough for you to be immediately poisoned. I think maybe over several days you would have gotten ill or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure. But we know that the belladonna most likely came from in here. Dr. Sprecher had it, but we also do not.
So he's the spy.
Him.
He's the one that poisoned me.
We do not suspect them because of other evidence. Also, because of the amount used, it's unlikely that it was him because he would have used a different amount.
Okay.
We believe.
It would have been much, much easier to use a smaller amount that would have been undetectable. And as a doctor, he should have known that.
Yeah. So we used the mask. And Valentina was able to talk to an apparition of some kind who said that an angry guy had been interacting with that box where the transmissions were.
I mean, everybody gets angry.
That's true. And it's possible that anybody could be angry as they were interacting with the transmissions because they didn't like what the Nazi command was telling them to do or whatever. So all that really does is it seems to rule out any of the women.
Ah, good.
Do you know what Oliver is working on?
I do not. He's always, every time I go to see him, he's always telling me to get out, and he's working on something, and the sparks and the things, and it's all so complicated. I just hope that he's able to deliver a weapon for us in the near future.
Right. Well, he is working one of his schematics that he's trying to hide. I got to look at it. And he is, what did it look like? Like he's using parts, or like he's actively working for AMI?
No, it doesn't look like he's working for AMI.
Basically, it looks like he's using schematics from AMI.
Yes.
Okay. So it appears that some of the schematics that he's using, that he's trying to keep other people from seeing, come from a company called AMI. Which
yes, we're aware of AMI, and I didn't want to say anything in front of your comrades in case they didn't know of the connection, but
that's all right.
That's why we're very interested in you.
Sure. So Oliver has a connection to them, and also he's angry most of the time. At least in the time that we've known him. We also spent some time ruling out Pontus and Antoine.
Of course, they're good boys.
So we don't suspect them. We also don't suspect that it's you.
Oh, thank God.
Although, again...
I hate to think that I was poisoning myself. Oh.
Yeah, although, again, there could be magic involved, and then most of this detective work goes out the window. So our prime suspect is Oliver. But are we 100% certain? No. I tried to get something out of him by messing with the details of some of the stuff that we found. And he seemed... he reacted to it, but I couldn't tell you that the reaction was a guilt or worry. He could have just as easily been surprised or annoyed. He's got kind of a scrunched up face, and it's hard to tell.
Cheryl? Yes, sir. Would you have Oliver come up here, please? Right away. Very important. Yes, sir. You guys are standing around. I trust you, boys. Your analysis seems to play out. I'm concerned, though, that I've been drinking poison all this time.
Yes.
When did the doctor say that he had gotten that stash?
Like a couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
Certainly the unfettered access that everybody has to every room in this place has been an issue and complicated things. So you might want to invest in some locks.
We were only able to convince the director to put the locks on the main area because of the age of this building and its history. He was reluctant to go in and just put locks and destroy the doors and all of that stuff. I find it somewhat annoying, but I understand his concern. What do you guys want? Please, have a seat. And he sits down across the street, across the desk from the brigadier. Oliver, is there something you would like to tell us? Something you're working on, or something that you're keeping from us? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, you seem to be in the lab all the time, all hours of the day and night. Of course, I'm working to help us win against Hitler. I suspect that you are maybe not working against Hitler, but maybe you're working for Hitler. That's ridiculous. I'm proud to be on your side, sir. This is and he started to pull at his collar a little bit. These accusations are ridiculous. I say that this is preposterous. I would never work for Hitler. We've got proof, and you can just see some flop sweat starting to form on Oliver's forehead. You want proof? Hitler shall rule the world, and we shall control everything. And he reaches behind his under his jacket, and he pulls out a gun, and he points it right at the brigadier, and he pulls the trigger. And bang, bang. And the brigadier goes flying back into the back corner of the room, and you hear Cheryl screaming and in the other room.
Grab him.
What do you guys do?
Yeah, we tackle his ass.
Tackle him.
Okay.
Unmasked.
You all-
Just pow.
Okay. All of you tackle him, and you beat him unconscious. Cheryl comes in. She's screaming. A moment later, Pontus and Antoine are all crowding into the communications room. Howland comes rushing in, and he's got his gun drawn. What are you boys doing? Oh, Brigadier! What has happened to the Brigadier?
Hey, Doc, go look at the brigadier.
Yep.
He's been shot.
Going to check the brigadier quickly.
You go over to the Brigadier, and he's just kind of lying there. And he opens his eyes, and he looks at you, and he goes, I was not expecting that. And he touches his chest and opens up his shirt. And the only thing that you see on his chest is a necklace with a little stone. I had some suspicions. And he gets up and he's dusting himself off. I believe this is somehow protecting me. And then he looks at
Clyde's necklace.
It is Clyde's necklace.
Oh.
This is incredible. And then where's the alcohol with the poison?
Down in the...
somebody comes, somebody rushes off, brings it back. Here you go. Pontus is like, yeah, here you go, Brigadier. And Brigadier just looks at it, and he just takes a big glug.
Okay.
Just draining the entire canter. And he's like, I don't feel drunk, and I don't feel poisoned.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
You will never get away with this. You will never get away with this.
Somebody
too late.
shut that mug up.
Take him.
The army is moving
let him
forward. The army is moving forward, and soon. And then you hear a crack. And then you just see as foam starts pouring out of his mouth.
Oh, no. Not the old poison tooth routine.
It is the old poison tooth routine that at least two of you have seen before. Well,
we all clearly remember
guy.
that. Maybe you could tell the listeners at home.
When Dutch and Valentino were chasing down the German cameraman after the blowing up of the building, he also poisoned himself. Yes, everyone remembers that now? Good.
Yes, we do.
Well, that explains why I have not had any ill effects from the poison. And he hands it to Doc Sprecher. Please dispose of this. Oh, well, yes, of course. And he wanders off. You boys have done an excellent job. You have rooted out a spy, Howland. I'm surprised your keen observation skills have not figured this out sooner. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. He kind of just ducks his head down and he disappears out.
Oh, Howland.
Boys, commandos, I am fine. Perfectly good. Perfectly good. This necklace right here seems to protect me, but I've had my suspicions about this since the building in Belgium blew up. Now I think I know why. Clyde is on to something. You good boys are going to America, yes?
It seems that way.
I think you should probably also, in addition to looking for whatever's in Arkham, probably pay a visit to Clyde's family and see if they know more about this. Of course, I'll be keeping this here with me, but perhaps they have more of them.
perhaps.
Those would come in handy.
That would be certainly come in handy for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, boys. Good job. Oh, I feel like a cloud has been lifted. This is a win for Section M. And high fives, freeze frame. Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Stephen Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. This week we had a few NPCs named after our patrons, including Dr. Sprecher, named after Mark Sprecher. Again, apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. And of course, Secret Agent Stephen Howland also appeared in this week's episode. You want your name to appear as one of these NPCs in future episodes? All you need to do is become an associate producer at patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2023 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.